Good day to all. This is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and this is Tuesday, the 23rd of July 2019, just after 11 a.m. during the Asian trading session. And we'll just take a look at the 5 key forex pairs for the week, starting with the euro. And yesterday was a slight gap down, and then followed by a bearish move today as well, right down to the 112 area. So this is going to be a key support level here, and you can see that it's also been trading in this range of over about 85 pips. Let me switch to the 4-hour time frame, and you can see this range here. So if it does break down a bit lower, hopefully this weekly S1 pivot level will provide some key support and bounce back up to the weekly pivot level, 112.35. And with the ECB rates decision coming up this Thursday, there could be some volatility, so we'll follow up on Thursday morning to see how the price movement is so far for the week. Okay, we'll move on to the cable. And the cable as well continued its bearish move from the previous week, back down below 125 and approaching the next support level. Switching to the 4-hour time frame, and at the start of the week it could not break out higher above the 55 period EMA and has fallen lower. This level here is going to be a key support at 124.30, and we'll look for any bounce potential from there back up to the weekly pivot at 124.88. Okay, so we may be looking for some potential move of this nature, and unless it breaks down lower, it could potentially test the weekly S1 pivot level as well, just at the 124 level. Okay, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. It did attempt to break out higher above the resistance at the 50% Fibonacci level, but then pull back in at the end of last week and continued lower. I've drawn an ascending wedge where it could be trading within, and we'll see whether it pulls back into this support zone down at the 0.700 level, and if it does bounce back up, there is quite a big resistance zone at the 0.71 level, along with a weekly R1 pivot level as well. So, and of course the 200 EMA on the daily chart. We look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that it's found support now at the 55 period EMA, and potentially there could be bounce back up to the pivot, weekly pivot, and an attempt to retest the 0.700 level. Okay, let's move on to the dollar yen. Dollar yen has been trying to creep back up the bounce at the end of last week, and has reached the resistance zone just above the 108 level and already above the weekly pivot level. and attempting to reach the weekly R1 level. Drawn a lower trend line to show the higher low, and I did not draw an upper trend line here to show a bullish channel, but because there's quite a bit of resistance up here that it needs to clear with a weekly R1 and the daily 55 period EMA up here as well. Switching to the forward time frame, and you can see that that will coincide with the 200 period EMA right next to the weekly R1 pivot. So there is quite a bit of resistance in the way of the advance for the yen, the dollar yen. Okay, moving on to spot gold, and spot gold has retreated after spike higher above the 1450 level at the end of last week, pulled back into the triangle, and has now found support at the 138 Fibonacci level inside the triangle. Switching to the 4-hour time frame, and it's also coincides with the 55 period EMA now. So potentially there could be some support from this trend line from below, where if it does fall lower, then it could find some support here on this trend line and bounce back up to the upper trend line of the triangle where the weekly pivot line is 1426. And if it does climb up higher, then potentially it could target the 100% fib level where the previous swing high is at 1439. So we'll see the reaction at these key levels. If it does break down lower, then it could find support at the 78.6 Fibonacci level on a smaller time frame at 1402 or 1403 area. Right, so here's a potential trade idea here as well, and I'll follow up with another pair and perhaps along with spot gold later on, and we'll follow up on Thursday for the rest of the week. So do have a safe and good trading week ahead, and cheers.